Today we're going to talk with Tyson James. He is a rapper. Okay. I wouldn't, I hate using the terminology Christian rapper, but he's a man of God and he raps. All right. The man has bars.
They pushing evil on the kids now. This is where we stand and this is where we put our fists down. Twisting up the Bible just to fit you, won't you sit down? Sin will get you lit, so don't you slip, forget your chip now. Bill Gates buying up the farmland. Elon putting chips up in your brain, but what's the harm, man? And I'm the scary guy, not very wise, look at your heart, man. You let him put the poison in your arm, but I'm the harsh man. I told you about the dark plan. They say that we dangerous, dangerous. Not too many that can hang with us.
I really like his music, and he has been getting deplatformed because apparently, according to liberal media, they seem to think that Tyson is dangerous. Very interesting. So we're going to dig into that, and we're going to chat until you guys find the conversation annoying. So, all right, here we go. What's up, Tyson?
What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing today? God bless you. And don't mind me because I got 5 kids. And so like right now they're at the door saying, "Hi, Dad. Hi. Hi, Dad."
Aww. That's awesome. I don't have any kids yet, you know, hoping I can
work on that. We're gonna have to work on that.
I'm
gonna
have to work on it. I'm gonna have to work. It's funny because like before I became a Christian, I was like, I think I want 1 kids. And then seeing how the world's been going the last couple of years, I'm like, you know what? If I had 5, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah, it's the way that you raise them. You don't they don't have to be indoctrinated by the world. Like with my kids, I literally put them in a bubble. You're in my bubble. And when you're old enough, you can go out into that bubble. But right now, you're in this bubble, you know?
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So tell everyone about you in case no one's heard of you and your music. Who are you? How'd you get your start into this whole rap thing that you're doing?
So my name is Tyson James. I am a Christian conservative hip hop artist. I started doing music in 2004. And I've been doing music ever since. And in 2018, I made a song called Beta. The song's called Beta. And I got my inspiration from Jesse Lee Peterson, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was kind of the first song that kind of went viral that caught people's attention. They really liked that song. Even Jesse Lee Peterson gave me a shout out on his show. And ever since like 2018, the music has just been growing and growing. And I was able to quit my job doing construction last year, and now I'm doing full-time music, and I love it, but I'm trying not to get banned. I'm trying to do it forever, you know?
Yeah, no, I definitely know what you mean, and it's crazy because I listen to your music. I don't understand. Well, I mean, I get it. I understand why they're banning you, but really, if you look at it from the perspective of what are the lyrics, I don't understand what the controversy is about. I have a feeling maybe it's because you have the whole. Because I saw Vice made a video. They interviewed you for some like you being a MAGA rapper, but you've never claimed to be a MAGA rapper.
Just like I said in the interview, I've never called myself a MAGA rapper. I have a song called MAGA Rappers with Bryson Gray, but that is because that song was playing with the idea because that's what people call us. And in that song, I said, if you put me in a box in hip hop, in my creativity, if you try to box me in, I'm just gonna break out of that box ASAP as soon as possible. I'm getting out of that box. So yeah, they try to put us in that box, and we're just MAGA rappers. We only make music about Trump, and there's nothing else to us, and that's why we're popular right now is because of Trump. When it's really not that, because like my first song was Beta. That song kind of went crazy. 2A, like I have all these songs that are just, I was just saying it on my live that they call it mega music, but to me, it's just music. It's just music. And I put everything that I believe in. Like I love God. I love my country. I love guns. You know, I love my family. And that's the stuff that I'm going to put in my music. And they call it mega music, right? It's just crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. I saw also that I don't know how to pronounce his name. Chank from the Young Turks, I think his name.
Yeah.
He had mentioned he was interviewing someone talking about you, and I was listening to this interview, and it's very clear that they they're trying to like villainize all of these hip hop artists. And you know what's interesting is I'm sure you can look at mainstream hip hop and you see like the Cardi B's, you see all of these like gangster rappers where everything is just so degenerate. It's about, getting drunk, sleeping around, violence, like gang violence in particular. And that for some reason is totally fine. It's just another day, another weekday. But for some reason, when you talk about things in your music from a biblical perspective, you talk about God, you talk about, the Second Amendment, now there's an issue.
Yeah, so if you talk about the Second Amendment, you're fine. Um if you talk about these things, you're fine. But once you put God in there and you're talking about this stuff, now you're the Taliban, right?
Yeah.
Because on The View, I'm sure you saw it on The View, what that lady said. I don't know what her dumb name is,
Mhm.
but she said, "I don't know what the difference is between Christianity and the Taliban." Well, I mean, I could show you a lot of differences between the Christianity. For one, the Taliban, uh, if you're a woman, you're not gonna get education after the age of 8. I mean, the list goes on. If you try to be a rainbow community over there,
Hmm.
you're gonna get something else from the Taliban. So I see what they're trying to do,
Yeah.
and they're successful. They're painting this picture. Even what the Young Turks did, they painted a picture like they remind me of Al Qaeda and Taliban.
Hmm.
And that's what they're putting out there. And the scary thing is that people will actually believe that.
Yeah.
And they will use that to ban us. And we're extreme and we're dangerous. Like, you know, what you just said, all the other music that they have of killing and robbing and raping and drugging people, and this is not like these people are actually doing this stuff. Like in drill music, they have music that the FBI has used to indict people for murder. And all of those songs that they used to indict them for murder, because they were talking about the murders in their song, all those songs are still on iTunes.
Yeah.
All those songs are still on YouTube. But no, me, I don't even cuss in my music, but I talk about the rainbow community. Let's
Mhm.
censor him, right?
Yeah. Well, that's bad. You can't talk about the rainbow because that's a protected class, all right? And you should get with it. Get with the program,
I
okay?
might start identifying as rainbow community because they get a lot of benefits, man. They get to go anywhere they want, do whatever, say whatever they want. They get away with everything.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. You know what's interesting because you had mentioned the interview on The View. I don't know that woman's name either, but what I found interesting about her comment was it wasn't that she said she thinks Christianity is no different from the Taliban. She said the Christian right. And I've noticed this trend where it's like if you say Christian right, that's synonymous with being extremist. But if you are Christian, progressive Christian, you're the good guys. But
Yeah.
from my perspective, the progressive Christianity, all it is just affirming sin and making it okay.
Yeah, it's not real Christianity. It's fake
No.
Christianity. And the good thing for them about that is everybody can be a Christian.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a Christian when you show the lights and the camera and these big mega churches and all, but they don't speak out against sin. They don't speak out against the LGBT. They don't speak out against drag shows. They don't tell their congregation, yo, talk about abortion and all that stuff. So everybody wants to be that Christian, but the deceptive thing about it is Satan's busy and he knows what he's doing. And he's deceiving people to think that they are Christians. And biblically, you are so far away from what a real Christian is not even funny. And that's the battle that we're fighting. We're fighting a spiritual battle. We're fighting Satan every single day, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I guess my next question is how long have you been a Christian for?
So I've been a Christian since 2004. And before 2004, I was a drug addict.
Oh.
I literally became a drug addict in high school. Like sophomore year, I became a drug addict. And I look back at pictures of me when I was a sophomore. I look like a little kid, you know? And I
Wow.
look back on that, I'm like, man, that little kid didn't even know what the heck was going on. He didn't know what those drugs were going to do to him. But I started hanging around with the wrong people and getting involved in hard drugs. And I became a drug addict really fast, you know? Um, and Then so that was it. So like 2 years after that, I was strong hooked on heroin for like 2 years. And then I was in and out of treatments and in and out of and just running amok in my whole life and destroying my family, destroying relationships. And I just came to a point where I have to do something. And I went into a rehab home. It was like a year-long rehab home. It was a Christian rehab home, and I didn't want to go to the Christian one because all the Christians that I knew were squares, you know? All the only Christians that I knew were like old people. I didn't know young, cool Christians. So I was like, I don't want to go there, man. But I ended up going to this place, and it was an inner city rehab home. And it was a culture shock for me. But I liked it because it was something different. It was all people from all different walks of life, you know? And what got me into music was, so we were involved in this church, and every Friday night, Sunday morning, and Sunday night we'd go to church. So on Friday night was a little bit more like relaxed, you know. And so we went there, we were sitting there, and the pastor goes up and he's like, "You all ready for some special music?" You know. And I'm thinking, "Oh, they're gonna bring somebody, they're gonna sing Kumbaya and this and that, right?" And all of a sudden, like the lights go off in the church, and then all of a sudden the beat comes on, boom, boom, and I look around and I'm like, "Where the heck am I at? This is not church, but if this is church, this is awesome," you know? And so they came out and they were rapping and they were tight too. And I looked at that and I said, "Boom, that's what I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna be a Christian, I'm gonna be a cool Christian." And I
Mm,
said, "That's what I'm gonna do." And so that's what I did. And
wow.
we formulated a group, me and another guy in the men's home. Our group was called Double Edge, and we were dope. Like we were back in those days in the 2004, 5, 6, 7 era. We were super dope. We were doing like little shows here and there, and then it just evolved. We broke out from the group, and I started my own thing and did my own production and videos, and I just started doing everything myself. You know?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that is quite a journey. A few things resonate with me when you talk about your testimony. The first is like hitting rock bottom. Like I was I mean addicted to weed, and amongst other things, but I was very depressed. And I think especially now I've started to notice a lot more people are I'm getting a lot of messages from people saying that they're seeing signs from God, like they're like God is calling him. And I think it has to do with how draining the times are right now and how a lot of people are just in a really bad headspace, a really low point in their life. And I think that's common for a lot of people when they come to Christ. And you know what? The other interesting thing about it is before I made that journey myself, I had the same thought where Christians are just squares. Like they're boring, they're uptight, you know, it's just like goody two shoes type of thing. I had no idea that there was actual personality and not everyone was just like a carbon copy of what TV would tell me a Christian is like.
Yeah.
And and now that I think about it, when I was in high school, I don't know if you saw it, but on Instagram I posted a series of photos of me like back in high school, early 20s, and I was totally into all that demonic stuff. Like I love the aesthetic of Satan and all that dark stuff.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of younger people, they look at that aesthetic as like, "Oh, that's cool because it's rebellious." But come to think of it, I think it's actually not rebellious. It's actually you're conforming because society thinks that that's relatively normal. But if you talk about God and you talk about Christian values, now you're the one that's weird.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that people are waking up right now,
Hmm.
and I think that Jesus is coming back soon. So I just think like this is him, like giving his people another knock on the
Hmm.
door. I'm knocking on your door. Let me in. I'm coming back soon. I'm coming back soon. I want you to serve me. I want you to be a child of God, right? And I tell people all the time, the internet only exists. The only reason the internet exists is because God made it, because that's the only way that we could get the gospel to the four corners of the earth, through the internet. And when the gospel goes around and everybody's heard the gospel, that's when you know that the time is coming where he might come back soon. And so people are waking up. People think it's going to be like someone just asked me in my live, is it going to be some like great awakening where thousands of people are going to get saved? And I don't think so, because the Bible says different, you know? The Bible says that there's going to be a great falling away. Many people are going to fall away, and we're seeing that with the Western church, like what we were just talking about. People thinking that I could be a liberal Christian and I could vote for someone that kills babies in the womb and I'm still a Christian. No, you're not. You're not at all.
Yeah.
And so everybody thinks that that's a great falling away, amongst other things, but God is calling his people. And the people know, even people in the chat, that you know that God's been doing this to you. Even listening to Gothix, you know God's been touching your heart, saying that he's real and he's going to reveal himself to you for real.
Yeah. Right on. It's, I would say so. I've only been a believer for like a year. I'm very new to all of this, and I've sort of gone back and forth between like, nah, he's coming back, to like, maybe not. The
Yeah.
signs that we've been warned about, people have experienced those signs in history, but
Yeah.
I feel like I'm leaning more towards, nah, he's coming back.
I'm going to lean towards that just to be safe, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think just for the sake of, because I think as believers anyway, we should be preaching the gospel and trying to get people to recognize the bigger picture. I think that's important. And if anything, it's sort of like lighting a fire, like, okay, now it's game time. Let's go.
Well, look what happened to you.
Yeah.
You have thousands of subscribers, and God chose to, I'm going to touch Gothic's heart, and she's going to believe in me, and she's going to start telling people about me.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, it was a year ago or something, because I watched a couple of your lives, and I think you had Topher a couple
Mm.
years ago, and I watched that live, and then you didn't say anything about God or anything, but then boom, I watched it live, and you said, I'm a Christian now. I'm a
Mm.
believer now.
Yeah.
And you don't even know how happy that made me. I was like, yes, yes, because God's going to use you
Yeah.
to spread the truth and to tell people about the gospel. And that's
Yeah.
awesome. And
Oh,
your soul is saved.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
It's crazy because when those things were like, looking back on it, I can see God working. But it's, when I finally started talking about God on this channel, I'm like, yo, this is weird. Like, I was still trying to talk to myself. Like a few years ago, I was like, ew, God. And now I'm like, what is happening? And God is real, y'all.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Oh man. So tell us about your new album that's coming out, and talk a little bit about what has been going on with you getting banned from your distributor.
Yes. So my album is already out now. But what happened was, okay, now I got to go back and remember. So it was about a week and a half ago. This album right here, Just the Messenger, got banned on all platforms. So I woke up in the morning and people are saying, where's your album, Just the Messenger? Where's Two Genders? Where is these other songs? And so I looked on there, it was gone, right? I said, oh man, that sucks. They got me, but I've been banned before on iTunes. Certain songs got banned.
Mhm.
Never had a whole album banned, but I was like, all right, I'll take that one on the chin. I could whatever. I could get through it. And then I dropped my album Dangerous, and I told people, listen, I don't know what's gonna happen here, because usually if they start banning a whole album, they're pretty much on their way to start banning more stuff. I didn't expect for everything to be gone, but I was thinking maybe more things. Maybe this new album was gonna get banned. Well, I dropped the album. I was number 3 on the hip hop album charts, on the iTunes charts, number 3 hip hop album in the country. And all of a sudden, boom, it was gone.
Wow.
Everything got deleted. Every song that I ever made my whole career since 2003 that I've uploaded to platforms is gone now. And a lot of
Wow.
those songs, I don't have the files to. They're long gone. This is the only place I had them. And all my streams on Spotify, everything's gone. So I said, okay, it had me down. And I was thinking, like, I'm gonna have to go start working. I'm gonna have to go start building houses again, you know. And then I start selling my hard copies, and people started buying the hard copies. And I just had to come to, because I don't like getting banned. I don't want to get banned, but I have to tell the truth. I have to be honest because I'm going to stand before God one day and God's going to say, did you silence the truth because you didn't want to get banned? Did you not tell people, were you not honest with people because you were scared that you were going to lose it all? I own 1,000 cattle on 1,000 hills. I got your back, right? So that happened and I realized that I'm just going to put my trust in God. And I'm going to just trust that he has everything in his hands, and that he's going to work everything out. And he's working everything out now. He is.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's nuts. So people, where can they get a hard copy?
So you can go to www.tysonjamesmusic.org and I have 8 albums. You can buy 1 album, 2 albums. You can buy if you buy 7 albums, I'll throw one in for free. So all
Ooh.
my albums are there. It's called a bundle deal, but you can get my stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what you said is again resonates with me a lot. God gave me this platform, but before I started talking about God as much as I have been, I had to talk to myself like, okay, what am I really afraid of here? Because I think a part of me for a while was like, I'm gonna lose subscribers, and I am. I'm always losing subscribers, but it's like, what do I care more about? Do I care more about saying the things that my audience wants to hear, or do I care more about the truth? And I care more about the truth. So like I'm fully prepared. I hope it doesn't happen. I don't want to get banned, but like if it comes down to it, like I'm ready for it.
Right, right, and
Yeah.
that's the people that God is looking for. God's looking for people that are willing to lay it all on the line because if you read the Bible and you see all the disciples, what happened to them? They all got martyred. They all got like tortured except for John. But and then the early church, they were getting persecuted. So this, come on, man, this is really nothing. We ain't going through nothing. We
Mm,
ain't physically being harmed, but this is going to prepare us for what's to come. It's gonna prepare us because this isn't gonna get easier. It's not
yeah.
gonna get better. It's not going away. It's gonna get worse
Yeah.
because they're coming after the church, and the devil knows his time's coming to an end. He's trying to get as many people. The devil needs to silence this message ASAP because this whole internet thing is going crazy. Too many people are hearing the gospel. I got to shut these people up, right?
Yeah.
And so we're gonna fight the battle. We're gonna fight the good fight, and I ain't giving up. No way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other thing is that a lot of people don't recognize that there is an agenda against Christians. And I'm actually working on a video right now about atheism because I've been seeing a lot more people saying the solution is we need to encourage more atheism. I'm like, are you mental? Like, what are you talking about? And the thing is that if you don't have the context, like if you don't know, then it doesn't make sense to you because people, they think, okay, religion, a lot of bad things have been done in the name of religion. Well, first of all, that's a blanket statement. What are you
Yeah.
talking about when you say religion? And it's like these people don't recognize that the more we have an atheistic society, the more chaos we're going to see. And I think the sort of the fail safe, the backup plan that these elites have is through infiltrating the church to say, oh, well, these progressive Christians, these are the good guys, and these right wing Christians, these are the bad guys.
Yeah.
So then when people say, well, it's not, there's no agenda against Christians because look at these inclusive LGBT lesbian pastor Christians, look, they're fine. And they don't understand the full context, but it's like you need to open up the Bible to actually know what you're working with. Like I describe it as like a war tactic. Like if you know your enemy follows a certain set of beliefs and principles, then you have to attack those beliefs and principles. And that's exactly what's happening, all under the guise of diversity and inclusion.
Yeah, I have a good idea. The earth is getting just more evil and evil. Let's take God out of it even more, right? Let's shove atheism down people's throats, right?
Yeah.
But then we have to go back and say, this is not a natural battle.
Yeah.
This is a supernatural battle.
Mm.
And the enemy is at work behind the scenes. And that is why we're seeing the world is just flip flopped.
Yeah.
What's good is bad, and what's bad is good, up is down. And I just go on the internet and I see things and I'm just like, why? What is happening to this planet right now? It's just mind-boggling sometimes.
It is. It is a lot.
People think that I'm sane and I have like all my like I am not sane. I'm not saying, man, this world is driving me nuts, and I'm sure that everybody can identify with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I have my moments where that's why I can't spend too long on the internet because you can see everything just like in your face of how crazy people are.
Yeah.
So it's like I need to just go pray. Whenever I feel myself getting tense, I'm like I'm just yeah, I'm going to pray because I don't know what else to do.
Yep. Yep.
um I have a few super chats, and then I want to pull up a comment from one of my favorite atheists in the comments section. We always have our lovely back and forths. So let's see. First comment here from Andrew. Thank you for the super. When we have a national divorce, the left can have Rainbow Land and the right can have Jesus Land. All right. Andrew also said everyone thinks all Christians are Ned Flanders. I believe there's a correlation there. Be kind to others says much love. Favorite Bible verse and why? I think my favorite Bible verse, probably the first one that I found at the right time when I finally decided to read the Bible, was Romans 12:2. Don't conform to the patterns of this world, and everyone is conforming. What about you, Tyson?
I think I think it's Romans 8:28 that God works all things together for the good for those who are called that love him and are called according to his purpose. Like that is like my life scripture because I've done a lot of stupid things in my life. I've
Mm,
made so many bad decisions. I've hit my head against the brick wall so many times, right? But God always seems to take a bad situation and then he turns it into something good. I don't know how he does it. I don't know why he does it. He loves us, but that's what he's done in my life, you know.
yeah, amen. We have one here from Disco Cobra. Thank you for the super disco. This is my second attempt at my spiritual walk. One of the main things I've always struggled with is giving secular entertainment more attention than God himself. Not only dark and unhealthy entertainment, but just in general. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me personally, one of the first things I did even before I came to Christ was I took inventory of all the entertainment that I was consuming. With music in particular, music was a big one because I would like going back. I can't even listen to half of the stuff I used to listen to because I'm like, why are they promoting this nonsense? So I mean that would be maybe something I would recommend to you is just like what is it exactly that you're watching and just try to replace it with something else something that's more righted from a more rooted in a like a biblical perspective. Like I have a whole playlist of Christian rappers. You were on it until Spotify gave you the boot.
I was
um,
on it.
yeah, but I
Oh,
mean,
by the way, I think my stuff is back on Spotify. One album is, so it should be coming back
okay.
soon.
Oh, good. Okay,
Yeah.
nice, nice, nice. But what would you recommend for something like this?
Um, watch the Food Channel.
Yo, I
That's
can't. I get angry.
That's what I do, like, when me and my kids, we'll sit down at night and we'll put on YouTube and we'll watch, like, food. We like watching people eating food and testing food, and this guy, he goes around the country, the world, and he eats all different kinds of foods. There's also another channel, like, this Russian dude, he lives in the mountains, he has goats and cows and sheep and geese, and he just cooks food.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say anything, but he just cooks food, and the whole thing is food. So I don't know. I try not to watch crazy stuff. I try to just watch stuff with my kids. And yeah, sometimes it sucks you in, and like you're on Instagram and you see just the stuff that's going on. It's just crazy in this world, you know, and you got to like balance it out sometimes.
Yeah, you sound like my husband. He loves watching those international food testing shows where they'll buy all these cool snacks from like vending machines around the world, and I can't watch those because I'm always hungry. I'm like, man, I want food right now. I can't.
That's the thing about it. It doesn't even matter if I'm full. If I'm watching it, I'm like, "Oh, man, that looks so good." Like, sometimes they'll cook, like, ribs and, like, all kinds of stuff, and it just makes me hungry.
Oof. All right. We have another one from how do I say your name? Is it Michelle? Michelle. I believe the Lord led me to your channel. Watching the Lord move in your life has been a serious blessing. Hey, thank you, Michelle. Thank you. I hope that a lot of people can feel the same way about it. And like, why is she talking about God all of a sudden? She won't talk about politics all the time. shifting gears, man.
Yeah,
Um,
politics is getting kind of annoying
I
anyway,
can't. I
you know?
can't. It's like
I
because
just
it was draining me. Like because I got to a point where I'm like, we know what the administration's doing. We know what the media's doing. Like we get it. Now, how do we fix it? And I believe the only way we can fix it is through Jesus. That's the only way.
that's the only way. That's our last hope. I mean, it should be our first hope, but sometimes it's got to get worse before it gets a little bit better. But I don't like we see like the stuff that's happening in the administration and in politics, and it seems like just a game now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
our hopes were up when Trump was president. The country was being ran amazingly. We were economically successful and all this stuff. But then Biden came and it just kind of put a damper on everything. And I don't know what's going to happen in 2024. Who knows?
I don't know, but I remember I was going on a walk with my husband before the 2020 election. We were just contemplating the pros and cons of like who were to get in office, and we said, you know what, if Trump got in office, it would be bad. Like the left would lose their mind, but after a while, I think it would have just like simmered down a little bit. But if
Mm,
Biden got in office, the things we're seeing now, it's going to be tenfold, and it's not going to stop.
right.
And that's where we are now. But at the same time, it's like I almost feel as though it was still the path that we were meant to take, because
Hello.
I think it unveiled a lot of things about people. Like for me, I learned a lot of lessons. I learned that I don't know as much as I think I know.
Yeah.
And also all of the stuff that happened led me to Christ, so I can't be mad about it. Um
I totally agree with that. And people don't like it when I say this, but I say God pretty much gave us what we deserve in this country.
mm,
Our country morally wasn't getting better under Trump. It was seemed like it was just getting economically, it was amazing, man.
yeah.
But morally, our country did not turn back to God. Like when you're on the top of the mountain and you're successful and everything's going good, more than likely, most people are not going to call on God. They're not going to acknowledge him. But when you're down in a valley, man, all the atheists that are in the chat, I see you. I know who you calling on. When you in the valley and your life is in danger, you calling on Jesus.
Yeah.
That's who you calling on. And sometimes, just like your situation, who knows what would have happened, but this happened to our country to kind of open people's eyes to see what's really going on.
Yeah. Speaking about the Valley, Mellow Golden, thank you so much for the super. His favorite scripture verse is Psalm 23:4, and it says, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Amen. Um, all right, so now I have this chat, and I want to put it up on the screen. I have good banter with this person. I always encourage us to have our backs and forth, but these comments always confuse me. So the Joseph Santos says, "I like to know how atheism and lawlessness got intertwined. There's no history to that." How do you respond to this?
How do I respond to that?
Yeah.
um God is the law. The law of God is on your heart and you don't even know it.
Mm.
All the laws that what's right and wrong, who put that there?
Mm.
The Big Bang didn't put it there, that's for dang sure. But
Yeah.
you know what is right and wrong because God put that inside of your heart. And atheists, they don't even know that they're believers, but you're believers too. You have to be. All you have to do is go outside and look, go outside your back porch and open your eyes and look at that tree right there. Just that tree alone testifies that there is a God. You're just, I mean, it makes me crazy. Look at your body. The other day, I was in the car. This is funny. It just came to me. I was in the car with my son, and he gleeked. You know, when you gleek, you do your tongue, you gleek,
Mm-hmm.
and the spit comes out of your tongue.
Yep.
I started thinking, how did that get there, and why did it get there? Well, it's because you eat food and you need something to water the food down, right? The Big Bang didn't do any of that. God put that there for a reason. You go down to your stomach, you go down to everything. Man, God is real, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah. I mean, the way that you just described it, it's like, as you said, you just go outside, you look around, or even just think of the way that our bodies are designed with purpose and intent. It's like, if we're just the result of the Big Bang or evolution, then really we could also apply that to the way that we think. And if our brain and our way to reason and use logic is just the result of random chemicals, then why should anyone listen to this conversation? It would just be a randomized mess.
It'll be a mess. And here's another one. And I know everybody's probably heard this before, but you can never take an explosion. Like you take a stick of dynamite and you put it inside of a car, 100 times it'll never happen that that explosion is going to create something perfect. It doesn't. It's impossible to believe that an explosion created everything perfect is just outrageous to me, and it's not very reasonable at all.
Yeah, yeah. Like right here, Big Bang. Just don't think about it.
Yeah, just be dumb. Just don't think, just believe it and don't think, because once you start thinking, you're gonna say, "Oh, wait a second here."
Yeah, right. It's always, I mean, I've been getting a lot into like apologetics, so I always find these conversations entertaining. Cuz I used to think like that. And it's crazy. I think the first step is just recognizing you don't know everything.
Yeah.
But listen, we're already at almost 40, no, we're at 38. So you said you got like a few more minutes. Want to go for a few more?
Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have any questions for Tyson? If you do, drop it in the chat. I'll put them up. Um yeah, and we'll see what we got. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. I used to be a God hater, hated whenever I heard about Jesus. I didn't have time for God. I was comfortable. Then I fell into a valley. Jesus reached out to me and changed my heart. Now I'm saved. Sometimes it do be like that. So,
It do be like that. Like that's a story of my life.
yeah.
Like I said before, I've been in so many valleys and God just reached down and God has always had my back my whole life. I've never gone hungry. I've never gone without. You know what I mean? And it's crazy how sometimes we worry about so much stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big worrier. I worry about everything. And the Bible tells us not to worry about anything because God holds his tomorrow, our tomorrows in his hand right there. And that's always been the case with me.
Yeah. All right. So let me pull some up because we do have some questions here. Um, Tyson, atheists believe the scientific impossibility that everything came from nothing, which is impossible. That's not really a question, more of a statement, but yeah, I mean,
End of conversation.
yeah, there
There's
you
no
go.
more conversation to be had. That's it.
Yeah,
It had to come from something. Something, you know?
right. May the Salt Flow says, when are you going to do some concerts in the Ohio area?
I don't know. I don't know. When they ask me to come, that's when I'll come.
Have you ever been asked to come to Rhode Island?
I have not been asked to come to Rhode Island, no. I've
Okay.
never been on the only place I've been on the East Coast is Florida. I've never been to New York or any of that part of the whole country. I've never been there.
Okay, there's really nothing over here. It's not exciting. However, while I'm here, I would like to go to a Tyson concert.
Hey, we gonna get it lit if you come to a Tyson concert. We gonna do it. You seen the Vice documentary. You seen
Yeah,
how we do it.
yeah. Let's
It was
see.
funny at the concerts. The concerts are amazing because the concerts, you can say whatever the heck you wanna say because YouTube's not there to censor you, Instagram, nobody's there. It's just and it's a freeing moment. You don't have to censor yourself. That's one thing I hate doing. Constantly on YouTube, censoring myself. I can't say what I wanna say because they'll give me another strike for it.
Mm, yeah. Have you well, because you rap about like being canceled. Have you actually had like like a cancel mob try to dox you and like to that extent?
To be honest with you, I think that's what happens most of the time.
Okay.
And that's why I started blocking people lately.
Mm.
Before I never blocked people, but the past month, block. If I suspect that you're gonna go report me, you're crazy enough to go to iTunes or whatever and report my song, I'm blocking you. Block, gone. And I love that button. Now I'm hitting that button all the time. I used to not because a lot of my haters, they would come back. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't block them and they would still watch my videos and watch what I got to say. And they would come back and say, "Hey, Tyson, like, yo, you were right about everything, man. I'm like really sorry. And I got to respect you." So that's why I wouldn't block people. But now, you're done, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've maybe blocked like I don't know, to be honest, I feel like I've unblocked most of the people I've blocked the last couple of years
Mhm.
cuz now I'm just I don't know, I just feel like I feel more bold. But if I don't feel like hearing someone online, I'll just mute them because then it's like they're screaming and they think they're screaming at me. I just can't see it. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
it all works out.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Mojo wants to know any live shows coming up in general.
I don't have any live shows coming up right now, but I'm sure that as the spring comes and summer comes, people will start calling me. So we'll see what's going on.
All right. We got Bobby Thorne says, just found your channel from my brother Tyson. I'm glad to hear about your conversion. It's hard, awkward, and sometimes lonely path to walk as a Christian, but Christ walks with his people, so we're not alone. Godspeed.
Facts. That's my brother
Yep.
Bobby. That's
Hi,
my
Bobby.
boy.
Let's
Yes, it is
see.
a lonely path sometimes. It definitely is lonely, but I'd rather be lonely here on this earth and have
Mm,
a family up there.
yep. Yep.
It's all gonna be worth it one day.
Um, Cicero, have you watched the movie Nefarious? There are no theaters playing the movie. Like, is it still out? Have you seen it?
I had everybody's telling me about Nefarious. Nefarious, Nefarious. And I've seen that so many times, but I don't know what the heck it is.
So it's supposed to be like a Christian horror movie. But you should look it up. Look up some clips on YouTube, and it's basically, from what I'm understanding, it's a way to illustrate what atheism could do to someone. Like if we just looking at like the society in general. But yeah, check out. It looks really good.
I'm gonna have to definitely go watch that. Where can we see it? That's the question. Where can we watch it at?
Right. I'm there's apparently no one wants any showings of it. But the thing is, I went on Rotten Tomatoes where they go to review movies, and most of the critics gave it a bad score. And
Yeah.
it's because they're saying that the movie is preaching to them. It's like you can't even say that because most of the movies that come out of Hollywood are preaching to everyone else.
Yeah. If it's got a bad score, then it's probably good.
Probably good, man. All right. Oh, someone asked what mic is Tyson using?
Good question. I have a SE 2300. That's
Hmm.
my mic.
Okay.
I bought it a couple years ago. I sold a couple of my things because I needed to upgrade, and then I just thought this one was gonna be the one. And so far it's doing really good.
Nice. Nice. All right. That sounds like a good mic. It's doing the job.
Doing the job.
All right. Well, we're at 45 minutes, man. You want to head out?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. I'll go
Okay.
work on some music. I got some
Yeah.
videos that I gotta work on. Me and Bryson have some songs coming. We actually have a song. Me and Bryson have a song called "Gun Totin' Bible Thumper,"
Ooh,
and
I
we're
like
gonna
that.
do a music video to it this weekend, and it's gonna be crazy. So be on the lookout for that
Nice.
one.
Nice. So actually, really quickly before you go, because I was curious about that, because you guys seem to have like a network of rappers that do stuff. So like, who records the videos and all that?
So everything that you see from me is me. I have all the camera equipment. I got all the lights. I got everything. I just have a friend that does the videography for me. I pretty much just taught him how to, hold the
Wow.
camera and do the things that I want him to do with the camera. And I do all the editing, I do all the directing, all the creative things. Sometimes I build the sets. Like everything you see is from me. Nobody ever helps me with my music videos, and I'm completely fine with that because it just I could tell people you could do whatever you put your heart to. Like you could
Mm,
do whatever you want to do, you can do it because you have YouTube. You can go learn whatever you want. Most of the time you ain't got to go to college for this stuff, you know?
yeah. Yeah, right on. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Well,
Yeah.
it looks good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, everyone, I have Tyson's links in the chat. Oh, in the description. Go check him out. Follow him on YouTube. Go to his website. Buy an album. I'm gonna keep streaming with you guys, so don't go anywhere. But Tyson, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me pick your brain for a little bit.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been amazing, and keep doing your thing because you're doing amazing. You're doing amazing work for real.
Appreciate it.